Software. Welcome back everybody to a very important announcement video and instructional video for the upcoming update of MKEA. It's a very important one. For one thing, the rules that mod makers must apply to are changed, altered or added, whatever you want to call it. The developer Max decided that we may not increase pressure further than 370 for the pipe network, which means that any machine dependent on a higher pressure, as well as intake pipes on higher pressure than those numbers, are now officially forbidden. They may not be used, they may not be made, and if I do so, I practically break the rules. Same for providing access to higher tiers of dirt that are normally not available in the game yet. Those are also on the block list. So in the next update, the ultimate rail as well as the pipes and the intakes have been reduced. A good example of this would be if I take this one, you can see it now provides on the lowest tier 180 pressure. If I take the second one, it goes to 280. And if I take the last one, 370, the maxed out. So that is the change for those pipes. Now another thing, I got a lot of people contacting me again and again and again and again and again about the pipes. They keep saying it doesn't work, they want it to. Well, let me explain a little bit. Let's start with the new color picker that we introduced in the last update. Many people did not understand this one. Well, it's important. Drag with your mouse or click anywhere on this thing to make a color selection. For example, light blue. I want to select this light blue and I click confirm. You can see that the staff will change into the light blue. If you want to ever change the pipes in the future, write these numbers on the bottom down. They will be your key to let the pipe flow to the connected other pipes, because they are now specific on the numbers that are here. RGB basically stands for red, green, blue, as simple as it is. And since we are making science, we need a little bit of red, a lot of green and a lot of blue. However, if I for example make it totally blue, then I will end up on just 255, so 00255. If I now click confirm, I have perfect blue. Which means that if I now click all these pipes, they are all flowing with blue. But this one doesn't. It is another color. Dang it. If I put a belt on this pipe, you can see it flows. However, if I put a belt over here, it doesn't. This is a new change during the rewrite of the mod. Before it extended one beyond where the color changed, but now it's changed on the color where it last is. So if I, for example, pick my staff up and paint this one blue, it directly flows with. Same for the last corner pipe, it keeps on flowing now, and if I now place a belt on it, it works. So keep in mind, even if it's just one, like just let me say that I add 5 green, if I now change this pipe, they stop flowing even though they almost look the same, but they aren't the same anymore. I might be adding a numeric value on the side of the pipe in the future, but it will cause some issues because with a lot of piping it will cause a lot of rendering. So I'm still thinking about these additions, but anyways, if I turn this back to 0 and click on it again, it starts flowing again. So I recommend writing down the number. If you have a certain line to be a certain power, you can use it this way. What you also can do is manually edit these numbers by simply entering them with the keyboard. Keep in mind, the max is 255 and the lowest is 0. So if you set them all three to 0 and click confirm, you have black. If you all them to 50, 250 and 255, it's white. So those scales are also there. So if I turn them all to white, you get the most closest version that comes to Cloudtonium. coloring. This is Cloutonium, a little bit darker, but as you see, it's pretty close to Cloutonium, if I may say so myself. So yeah, this is the only thing I can recommend. You can fine tune it like 230, 230, and 230. And then it's a little bit darker, and so you can fine tune it to look more like Cloutonium pipes if you ever want to. So that's a neat little feature that that's possible now as I lower the layering. Last but not least, there is an important new addition that I wanted to give a little bit of extra explanation on. Many people know the IC chips, and some people are really thinking, what is that? How does it work? Well, I already gave an explanation on the compressor and the automated furnace in the last video about the MKEA update, basically combining video of all the features that were currently back then in the mod. I am making a very new chip here. Do not look at the name on the left bottom, it's a development chip right now, so I made it based on the old modulo chip that I made. Anyways, if I now right click, you can see that this is an advanced calculation IC controller. What it basically allows you to do is do math with logic. So in this case, I can say I want to be input A and I want to add input B with it, and I want output into C. So what this does is it basically the same as the adder cable, adding A to B and outputting it to C. So if I now put it in here, and A is on 10, B is on 6, and if I click now, you can see that it will add them together. This one is under differently. Dang it. What I'm doing. Well, anyways, you can see over here what is received. So if I, for example, send an 8 here now, you can see now that I did not press the send button right. 10 and 8. So if I now place this thing over here, I didn't do it correctly. You can see there is an 18 on the line because it's 10 plus 8 means 18. I can also do other calculations. This is modulo, divide, minus, and multiply. So A multiply output to C, confirm, and rotate it back up, and then press send again. It doesn't matter if A or B gets sent, but you can see 10 times 8 is 80, so it calculates correctly. But what makes this amazing is that I can say input to step 2, and then I can add a second one. So I want to get the 80 output that it gained here, and I want to do a minus custom 40. I want to subtract 40 from it, and then output to C. If I now place it down, and then send the data through, it ends up in 40. Because I removed 40 from 80, so in this case it will calculate it based on some A, and then move to the secondary step, do this calculation and output it. I can also say go to step 3 and then combine both outputs together again. So in this case 80 was here, this one ends up on 40, so this one should end up on 120 to be exact. So let me place it again, send again, and there we go, 120. This way you can make calculations as advanced as you want to, combine them together. There are some rules that apply, so you can only have one output. It can output to any of the ports, but you can only have one port outputting a signal at a time. Currently, beside the fact you can only support integers, so no decimals, as well as you may never end up in the minus, so no -1 or something, and you always need to use at least one input to trigger the system, so one input and one output is a forced one. However, one thing worth mentioning is that if you, for example, say only input A and do a custom one and an output to B, for example, then C is ignored. So you can turn it into a straight cable if you want to. You can reuse B. For example, 1 can also be adding B again. You can output it here, but as soon as you output it, the next step will get ignored. So that's something worth mentioning. It will always display what it last received in the bottom one. Since it requires 2 inputs in this example, I have 2 setups here, and you need to trigger them loose. So if I send 10, it will send 10 here. However, this one is still an 8. However, if I change, for example, this one to 90 and send, it will send 90 here. But if this was still blank or 0, it will send 90 B0 C0 until you change this signal, for example, to 6. And then you can see the outcome of 6. So yeah, this calculation system allow you to do advanced calculations for your machines to work out as you want it to. There are people making entire clocks and such with this. And I can say this chip will provide a lot of easiness on those behalves. If this is a success, I will make an if statement chip as well to make statements like output that, if that, is that. Those types of things. So thank you all for watching. See you all in the next one. Good luck!